Tonight my guests are Frances Barber, Gerald Ratner, and Michelle Collins. 3 smart cookies. And a half. Do you think men basically have more shallow conversations than women do?
No. I think that, well, I mean, it is unusual for men to talk about something as trivial as cigars or football or something like that.
What do you usually talk about with the guys?
Women, sometimes.
In what aspect of women? Looks?
Well, I have to be honest and
be
say,
honest.
yeah, I'll be honest and say,
Yeah.
We don't talk about their brains, we talk about their boobs or...
Of course. Size?
Size.
Size.
Yeah.
And what all the men like you and Michael
started?
Gray, these are the big guys.
Tall or short or...
Have we started? Have we started?
No, we haven't started.
Right.
So what?
Go for that.
What are you looking for there in a breast? I really like
big. Boobs, yeah.
Doesn't matter where they are.
Michelle,
oh no, I
leave
don't.
the table now.
No, I don't think this is sort of disgusting. No.
Here, give me a napkin. That's what we have the napkins, just in case it's not going to work. You won't know. Okay, there. There you go, little lady.
She's got a lovely figure.
She has a lovely figure.
Yeah.
Does it bother you if it's a silicone kind of texture?
Well, I find that women are very bitchy like that, because whenever I say, isn't that girl just fantastic, you know, wonderful figure, they always turn around and say, oh, yeah, it's a silicone job. You know, they always say that, which does put me off, because I like them to move about. I don't...
You don't like them solid?
No.
No. But then, how much can they move? Do you know what I mean? Because men like them to move, but then when they float down by your armpits, that's too much movement.
Yeah, no, they don't like that.
They don't
Not when
like
you're lying
that.
on your back.
What do you do when you're lying on your back and somebody's next to you?
Well, I did a love scene in the show I did with Michelle, and so I did that.
With your
all the
hands?
time with my hands.
To make them look bigger.
And to make them not flop over.
We didn't know, what, did they morph out your fingers?
Were they what?
Did they morph out your fingers?
No, it looked as if I was caressing myself, which made it look even more sort of bizarre and horrifying.
What you need is a stagehand under the bed with 2 holes, holding them up.
We tried that, but you could see his hands. They didn't work.
Well, why don't you have breast implants now that you're going the way of show business, in a big movie star kind of way? You will need them.
Will I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think I'm quite ready for it.
You've got
I don't like the idea of... Loads of my friends actually having it done, but no, I just...
You've got your plastic one.
No, we haven't started, really.
We haven't started.
I think we've started.
No,
I'm going to now talk about politics and go off boobs.
No, I wouldn't. To see what's sad about it is they'll love you more for the boob conversation. And if your eyes glaze over and you start ranting about politics. That's how the public like you. See, now you're accessible.
Oh, right. Thanks for that tip.
You're welcome. See,
I
you
don't
could have
believe
used
you,
me a
but
few
anyway,
years ago.
thanks.
Now you're a real man.
I could have done.
As your PR.
Good PR,
Did you not have a PR in those days?
No, I was very against PR people.
Right. You know, because that's the reason for PR, is to tell you when to shut up, isn't it? Or
Well, everyone used to tell me to shut up the whole time. I never took any notice. That was the problem.
what were you doing that was like they told you to shut up before the big shut up happened?
Well, before the big shut up happened,
Yeah.
I was
We wanna know,
I was
don't we?
courting the press,
Yeah.
and they said that you're going to be sorry that you did that.
How
and
do
I
you
said,
court
you
the
don't know
press?
what you're talking about.
How do you court the press?
Well, you
Eat
just
a chicken
do,
leg
you know,
breasts.
you just do all these stupid sort of things like, you know, what is it called, a room of my own, and a
Oh yeah.
my comb, little
The horse
car,
show.
You
You
did your
some
own
stupid-
PR then?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the
was too
press used to
visible.
phone up, and I used to say yes to everything and just do all these sort of little, you know, every...
Recording them for personal
Me and my
publicity.
dog sort of thing.
Publicity for your shop.
Yeah, because it was good publicity, and every time that I used to say, you know, I used to drop in there that we had the best stuff at the lower prices, and people do believe everything they read in the press, and sales went up,
God.
and it was free advertising, because we never used to advertise.
Did you get a little kick that you were getting personal PR too?
Well, of course, you
Yes.
know, my friends used to say, you're doing this completely for you, and then I used to say, no, I'm doing it completely for business, and they say that's complete bullshit,
Yeah.
and they were probably right.
But I heard, am I right in saying that when you did do that interview with John Humphreys, you suggested that when you made your big gaffe and said, you know, it's all a load of crap, that you thought you were actually, it was unconsciously self-destructing?
It really wasn't. It was really just a big mistake.
Just a joke?
It was a joke that was just put in there that I'd made about 5 years before that, and it was actually picked up by the press, and it was just a throwaway line, and it was just that in the time that I did it at the Albert Hall in front of 6,000 people, and the recession had just started, and it was interpreted as
slapping everyone in the face.
Slapping everyone in the face, which is the last thing I wanted to do.
Did you think your jewellery was crap? Be honest.
No.
You don't?
It wasn't crap. Have we
started?
started?
It was crap? Did you ever see? We haven't started yet.
We must have started. It's ridiculous. So we're ruining
so
this
how
whole...
soon did the business collapse after that?
Very quickly.
The next day, I think.
Absolutely. No, it didn't. It takes time. It takes a few weeks. It builds up and gets worse.
When it came out of your mouth, did you ever, by the way, see his jewellery?
Yeah.
Did you think it was crap?
Well, there were some things that were
Don't
okay.
be politic. I've never seen Frances. I've never seen Frances be the lady.
Girls at school got eternity rings from your shop, didn't they? That when their boyfriends...
What does eternity mean?
Well, they were eternity rings. I sat next to a girl whose boyfriend was in detention centre for kicking pregnant women in the stomach, and she bought an eternity ring from your shop, and I'm afraid that in my head...
Frances, whoa, back the truck up. Let's go from the man kicking the pregnant women to the eternity ring. Let's make a link here somehow.
He gave her... You know, you used to collect cigarette coupons, like in Kensington's packets or something.
Right.
He gave her all these cigarette coupons.
And then kicked the shit out of her? What was the
exchange, she could go to Ratner's and exchange some of the cigarette coupons and
oh, that's classy, Gerald. That's classy.
I never said it wasn't classy. I just didn't say it was crap.
Right.
Well, I did say it was crap, but I didn't mean to.
An eternity ring means you're not committing to marriage, but you can kick him, or what?
Well, no, I think it was whilst he was in detention centre, because she counted the days off and
it was
her
eternity.
Ring. It was eternity.
He was in for life. So he went from 600 million, you don't mind me saying the... And
you
this
can
is
say whatever you like.
What year, am I correct?
I don't know what you're saying yet.
I'm saying how much money you had.
Oh, right, okay.
The business was making 600 million a year with 130 million profit or something?
Something like that, yeah.
But that's a fantastic thing. You know, to meet you, Gerald,
yes.
You're like a nice boy.
Yes.
You would never think you're dynamic enough to raise that kind of money, would you?
Compliment.
Yeah, I've already been awful about the shop. I'm not going to be awful to you.
You can do. You can do it, man.
No, do you know what I mean? You always think a guy who makes that kind of money will be much more...
But I've never met very many millionaires, Ruby.
But you've
so
changed
I don't know what they
I
look
have
like.
changed.
You said he's changed
Michelle's
a lot.
right, I've changed.
What were you like before?
I wasn't as nice as I am now. Well, I'm not that nice now, but I was like...
Your appearance is nice.
Thanks, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I was... you know, I suppose you get quite arrogant. That's the problem. That's the danger that you've got to fight against if you're successful.
But you seem incredibly honest, and as in all your
that's
other
obviously
interviews that I've read, so I can't believe that you weren't self-aware.
My downfall, yeah.
Well, no, I don't think it is a downfall. Surely that's actually to be encouraged, and I can't believe you were so not nice because you are so honest.
Well, you know, it was being honest, and, you know, people say that I was being very honest by making that comment, but it wasn't. I wasn't actually saying that, referring that about the jewellery at all. It was about a sherry decanter, one of the lines we sold amongst 6,000 lines. And,
it was a silly, flippant comment, really, that wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. It was a huge... I mean, it was the biggest mistake since the King of Troy looked out into his courtyard and said, doesn't that wooden horse look nice in my courtyard?
And all those people lost their jobs. I mean, how many people lost their jobs?
It was the next day headline tabloid.
It was the next day. It was in the headlines of the Sun and the Mirror.
Then Mackenzie made you put a gun to your head?
Well, then he said to me that if I apologise, then everything will be okay, and he'll leave me alone.
Yeah, but apologise is different than putting a gun to your head.
But he says, I want you to be photographed putting a gun to your head. And
you did.
I did. And
publicity hound.
You didn't have a PR, because you should have had Ruby as your PR.
There's a difference between a day in the life of on the front page of the thing.
I know. We're much more savvy these days, aren't we? We'd be suspicious.
I don't know. Michelle's done a few things.
No, I've done a few bad
What have
things
you done,
in the past.
Michelle? What's the worst thing you've done for the newspaper? Can I have a napkin?
Paul McKenna actually hypnotised me to stop smoking. As soon as I left this hotel, I had a fag on the way out. Sorry, Paul, but it didn't work.
So there's a picture of you chain smoking?
Yeah, I mean,
and they follow you around.
Exactly.
I mean,
because of EastEnders?
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Is that such a big deal? I'm sorry, I mean, I know it's a
They
big...
follow Michelle around. I mean, when we were filming this series we did last year, Real Women, and Michelle had some stuff happening in her private life. And
Fabrizio.
That's the one.
Like I didn't do my
research. You know. And, I mean, we were literally hounded in the streets.
It was like 10 o'clock at night, and we were doing a taxi scene, and they were just...
Because all the props boys got big polystyrene to sort of try to get their camera lenses out of the way, and it was just... I have never seen anything like it, because I'd never worked with anybody before.
Did you know EastEnders is such a big deal?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
It's big.
How many ratings?
It's got the highest, I think it's about 12 or 14 million people watch it, which is the highest of any programme on
more
TV.
actually than...
Michelle, I just thought you were just a guest. I didn't realize we had royalty at the table.
Walking down the street with Michelle is
Michelle,
more
I had
scary.
no idea.
So
But the point is,
and
everybody...
when I had my baby, I had to stay in my house for 2 weeks. Because I'd done a deal with OK Magazine.
How much is it OK wanted?
Why should they?
Did they want the head coming through? Where did you draw the line,
I don't make
Michelle?
much money.
What did they want? What did OK want? Did they want it when it was still wet? Baby? Or what shots?
They just wanted a nice,
The
a nice head
placenta
and
on the
shoulders,
front
Ruby.
page? Yeah, because where's your deal? Where do you draw the line? I mean, I think you get what you ask for, even if it's unconscious. I think everything is unconscious. Seriously, even, you know, you say you weren't aware, but that's the unconscious. You get what you want.
Yeah, but you said you courted the press. So
Yeah,
if
but
you hadn't courted the press, then maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
That's sure it wouldn't have
exactly.
happened.
So,
They wouldn't have been interested.
Yeah, there is something in
absolutely
people
right.
that pulls
And
the attention.
That's
pulls
my
the
point.
focus.
That's my fear, that when you do actually make a deal, even with OK Magazine,
I know,
for some,
I know.
that perfectly innocuous photographs, they go, she's up for grabs.
Yeah.
It's out for tender. Don't you agree? And that's what worries me. On your behalf.
You're worried for her?
Yes. I should be her PR and her minder.
Well, anyway, this is a much more complicated conversation because you have to be honest but clean in your head as to what you're really asking for, because this is bullshit to me, what you're saying, making a deal with OK, so that, you know what I mean? If you either have a clean slate or you don't. I mean, there is no negotiation. I'm not knocking you. I mean, I've done this too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm suggesting, that it is a Faustin pact, and once you sign it, and you're on
it's
a
like
mobile phone
Diana
to Kelvin
what happened to
McKenzie.
Diana, she courted the press, and at the end of the day, you know, look what happened.
I don't think that's going to happen to you.
Well,
I think that you're not that big. I know that EastEnders is an important show, and I'm respecting it, but I don't
wasn't
think...
even comparing myself to Diana. I would never do that.
Eat a chicken leg. Eat a chicken leg. You've gone too far. We'll cut it out. You'll look
I'd
like...
like to meet a rich Dodie, though.
Well, there's a rich Dodie, except you're taken.
He's married with 2 children.
Well, I know, but you're moving him on in shifts,
4.
aren't you?
Oh, 2 from your previous marriage and 2
yeah.
from now.
When did you
How
dump...
did you know that?
Just a minute. It's my show. When did you dump the first wife, or not dump, but get rid of him, deposit?
And I remarried. He married his secretary.
He married his secretary.
It's very common.
I know it's
I know,
common.
and nannies. Why is that so common?
Tell
I
us.
think that a lot of men marry their secretaries because I think men look better in the office behind a desk than sort of by the fire with the slippers and the dressing gown, sort of, you know, looking a mess.
Sexier.
I think that I think power is sexy, so I think they're more attractive
But
in the office.
You're suggesting that's why the secretaries go for their bosses,
Yeah,
but why do
because you get
bosses
a lot
go
of
for their
old-
secretaries?
You should have a show.
Because they don't see the wives at home.
Shh, we want to know.
I think that they like to be appreciated, and the woman is there looking at them achieving all this and making money, and their wife at home doesn't
She's
see all
looking
that,
after the
sees all the
children.
worst side of them. And I think that just the fact that they're looking at them in this
So it's a
wonderful
power
light
trip, really, isn't it?
probably is.
But what do you have over the secretary? I mean, she's just taking dictation. What's she giving? Beside the office.
I just think that because the secretary has
honest.
fallen in love.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be honest. I always am honest, but I think that because what I was saying is because the secretary looks up at the boss. Somebody likes to be looked up
Yeah,
at.
but what are you looking
He
down
appreciates
at
him
when
more
you
than
see
his
the
wife.
secretary?
The fact that they look up to you.
So it's a narcissistic thing.
I think that you're in this excitement of the office every
Rejected.
day, and you've got the power of everything that goes on, and the secretary's part of all of that, and you've got your suit on, and then you go home and you put your dressing gown, and it's a sad reflection
Of where we are.
of where we are
In the human chain.
But you've.
So it's
I'm
exciting
exactly
to
the
sit home in
opposite
your
now.
dressing gown, so
I'm
this
more
is it.
excited now, actually going home, seeing the kids, seeing my wife, than I am.
But that's
being
because
at
you're
work.
wearing your dressing gown at work.
Because I am. I'm wearing my shorts.
Exactly.
I'm wearing my shorts
feel like
all
you're a
day at
better
work.
father now?
Reversed.
I know
father?
I'm a better father now. I'm a
'Cause you've got more
good father
time.
now. I've got more time, and I haven't got this competitive side where I've got to. My home is competing with my work, and
Right.
the work is winning.
Yeah.
At the moment, home is winning. It's very difficult to balance both things.
What's
to
the
make it-
ceiling for you? When is it, how many millions is enough? Because I'm curious, when is it enough?
Well, in the old days,
Yeah.
the old Gerald,
Yeah.
there wasn't a
There is
ceiling.
no
There
enough.
wasn't. You know, you just
Did you
went
actually
on
know
and
how
on.
much money you had in those days? Did you have so much you didn't really know?
I mean, how many
yeah,
planes? How
I
many
had
planes?
a plane, helicopter, all the trappings which are, you know, it was a complete waste of
And
time.
are you still dissatisfied when you have them because your friend Michael Green has more? I mean, you are competing with your imaginary
You're
neighbor.
competing with I don't know what you're competing with, but it's a totally ridiculous and it's unsatisfactory and you're unhappy in that situation. And you don't appreciate it. I know it's a cliche, but you really don't. And I do think now that I'm getting more pleasure out of much smaller things.
Like
Flying EasyJet.
economy?
I would be more happy, yeah. I mean, a holiday is a very good example, yeah. I mean, you can go on your private jet and you can have the suite and nothing is right, you're not happy about everything because everything's got to be so fantastic. And really, that's not important. It's the people that you're with and the conversation.
But
and
how have
what
you
goes on.
learned all of this? Not,
Yeah.
not presumably overnight, like the
Prozac.
crash.
No, I never did Prozac, but I
Buddhism.
think... But no, I haven't done anything. It's the exercise, really. And I think that...
So exercise has fed your
Frances
mind.
exercises
Yeah.
and she's screwed up. Seriously.
Actually, I was anorexic.
She's very screwed up.
I was
Yeah.
anorexic and bulimic, and I started exercising, and that's what
Right.
how I got over it. And I was about 20, 21, and I went
got-
to an audition once, and somebody phoned up my agent and said I look like a heroin addict. And I just thought, right, got to do something about this, and started working out, and I've worked out ever since. And it is very therapeutic, and
It's wonderful. The
It is.
stress just goes out the window.
Yeah, it goes for that.
It
goes
does for that time.
It doesn't last, I
It doesn't
agree.
last, though, does
doesn't
You come
last.
back to yourself. Once the endorphins of like taking a
Absolutely.
break.
It lasts a few hours, but
Yeah.
it helps you get through the day.
Yeah.
And you're much more relaxed.
Did you go through a period of looking at the old Gerald and saying, oh my God, it's repellent? Or, I mean, how did you have a clean look at what you were?
Well, I left after 18 months after the speech, and I really didn't do anything for a while, apart from cycling everywhere. I was just cycling all over
Were you mad
Berkshire.
at that point?
I was American mad or English mad?
Comedy special.
Both, probably.
Yeah, we meet
And-
on Madness.
Yeah.
Accents
Oh, we
don't
do?
matter.
Oh, right, okay. And I was just spent a lot of time just cycling and, you know, pedaling.
Thinking
and,
about?
And thinking about the past. And then just sort of things went into perspective. And a lot of the stress and the anger that I had just disappeared. And in a way, I started a different life, which is a much more enjoyable life. Yeah.
Are we with the secretary now?
We're with the new wife.
Right.
Yeah, at this point.
When did the old wife go?
The old wife went about, sounds terrible that, but...
Or at 1 and 2? When did one go?
Well, it was 1986.
Before
which
you
is-
said the...
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
would she... Oh,
peace.
did you get rid of her?
She got rid of me.
She got rid of you?
Yeah.
Even though you're making that kind of money?
Yep,
You must have been a real asshole.
I was.
Oh, okay. I mean, you know, to me, I'd take a bit of asshole for the 600 million, wouldn't you? I'd swallow it.
Right.
What a
well,
brave woman.
She was. And
maybe she found a richer asshole.
Yeah, who's she with now?
nobody. She has never gone out with
Really?
anybody. She's never remarried. And somebody was walking down the road towards her. She'd cross the road. She's not interested.
What have you done to
What
her?
have you done to her? Yeah.
It's obviously something, I don't know.
Yeah, it must have been a
But
nightmare.
no, we get on very well.
How do you
What
know?
did it
You know,
cover?
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What do they have in their gene bank, whatever DNA,
Mm.
that makes you turn something into 100 million? Do you know? Because I have good ideas
I wish
every
I
other
knew.
second.
Yeah.
What makes you do it? Is it just pure blind ambition, or do you screw the next guy better than the next guy, or is it mathematics?
Well, I turned 100 million into nothing as well, but to
Yeah,
get there,
To get there.
I think you just really determined that you want to do it.
You're
You
a
just,
fighter.
Or is it just drive?
I suppose I'm streetwise.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm particularly smart. I'm streetwise. I realised what was going on. I'm a good listener. You know, you never learn anything just listening to yourself. So I listen to other people a lot, and I just wanted to get there. But it doesn't really make you happy, as they say.
Because you pick really badly with men. I'm sorry, but she does. So, I mean, I think...
And whoever of them are watching this, they know who they are.
They will watch. What draws you to the kind of destructive male sometimes? You don't have to name names.
Because I think I have mistaken in the past that innate power that I've...
Power of what, though?
Of themselves, of their own personalities and their own abilities, which is very attractive, and in the past I've mistaken that for
Aren't you suspicious
pomposity and bigotry and bollockdom and just fuckwits. I've completely got it wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to learn and get it a bit right. But no, it is. There is something, and that's why, not to be so shallow about the secretary thing, it is women are attracted to someone they think that has actually, that can contain them, can make them whole and feed in the bits look after them in one way, look after them in a, not in a material sense.
No, I don't mean that. But,
yes, look after their spirit,
thing, yeah.
caress them and look after their
taken
spirit.
care
And
of.
so you do think that somebody, therefore, who has the chutzpah to be successful, you imagine that that will extend to you.
Yeah.
But it usually doesn't.
Well, except you didn't even go for that. I mean, sorry, do you remember the story you told me about the guy who made you dress up as his mother? No, go on.
No, he wanted me to dress up as his mother. So I did get a headscarf out of my cupboard.
Some mothers are very attractive.
And a Mac. I know, but no, he wanted me to have a headscarf and the Mac.
His mother was 90 at the time.
And then say what to him?
And call him a naughty boy whilst he was playing with himself, and then hit him. But so I
don't think it's a great relationship. I don't know where I'm getting
heard this one before.
I wouldn't knock
I've never
it.
heard this one.
No, well, I did walk out of my front door to slam the door, you know, to do everything in his fantasy that Mummy had just come home whilst he was in bed, in the bedroom doing something naughty. And my next door neighbour saw me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Don't ask." But then he kept saying, hit me, spank me for being so naughty. And I hit him so hard, he went, "Oh, no, that hard, I'm filming in the morning." So I can't tell you.
Who was he?
I'm not telling you.
Well, after the show's over, we'll get all the information. We'll publish it in tomorrow's Mirror. Well, I mean, she went out with Fabrizio. I mean, the name alone. I'm not insulting
He's a very handsome man.
I know, but she picked him because he looks like...
Very good-looking guy.
He was, I know.
Looks are very important.
I'm a bit of a romantic. I fell in love.
But because he
That's
looked
very
like
nice.
Rudolph Valentino.
Oh, God. I never said that, actually.
Are you kidding?
No,
Because I thought,
I never said that. The journalist said that. But there you go. I mean, I was
he
silly
doesn't.
at the time, you know, and I did stupid things because I was being followed, and I thought if I say something now, they'll leave me alone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that, does it?
Same thing as this. Posing. So what, you just went for him for looks?
Initially, I couldn't speak very good English, actually.
Yeah, so what else is there?
It took me 2 weeks to pronounce his name. What's your name again? Fabrizio. Oh, right, yeah. No, we did fall madly in love. I mean, it was a
How
cliche.
without
we
speaking?
We did.
How without speaking?
We fell in love, you know, and we've been together nearly 3 years, and we're still together, just about-ish, and, you know,
Even though she's going on a blind date tomorrow night, so it must be going terribly well. That relation must be going terribly. I'll take it out if you want me to. Just tell me to take it out.
It's a joke. She's not really, I'm looking after her.
Yeah, Frances is going on a blind date too. What do you want to say, Gerald? You look like you're
I'm
about
very
to...
happily married.
Yeah.
She's stuck by me through,
What's her name?
Moira. And she's been great, you know. She's really...
And she's pretty.
She's very pretty, yeah.
How's her boobs? Big?
Her boobs are biggish.
It's important, Frances. It's how men talk.
No, I wondered, what did she do while you were cycling all over the place?
Good question again.
She was doing, I must increase my
being
bust.
replaced at
She
the
was
show.
doing that one.
That's a very good question. I've never actually thought of that.
Because you're
I bet
selfish. There's
Yeah,
a bit of
that's
you that's
right.
still selfish.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to check into that.
She's probably having an affair.
Because she was too quiet. And she just allowed me to just go off all day. I think, yeah, I'll check
No, I
it.
could just imagine her on the phone with her friends and go, "Where's Gerald?" "Oh, cycling."
Oh, when everybody phoned me...
He's doing
I
a
was
30
saying-
miles ride with Friends of the Earth.
She just used to say that the whole time everyone on the phone, I was cycling. That's because I was...
Because she's a secretary. That's what she's meant to do. That's the benefits. It's not like you've got, you know, some actress who's going to be bored and wants attention. That's why this will never work. All those guys married, they're never going to have you.
I know.
You're too demanding. You go, you burn the bike. Did you ever go out with a married man?
No, I never have, actually. Have you?
Have you?
Have you?
Yes, I have, actually.
Is that more titillating because you know it's sort of dangerous?
Yeah, I suppose so, yes.
And does he tell you how his wife doesn't understand? Do they say stuff like
Yeah.
that? Does he?
How pathetic.
That's pathetic.
But, I mean,
Did you say that to your secretary?
Yeah.
but I saw him every single day,
Yeah.
like a lot, and I was thinking, like, he must see me more than his wife.
That's
It's very
amazing that
bizarre.
he could get away with that.
Well, you got away with the cycling.
Yeah,
But did you
round the
have to
corner
see him
anyway.
during the
But I was
day?
really-
The
conversation.
ridiculous thing was that I was
Day
really
and
cycling.
night.
Yeah.
You know, I could have, but I was cycling. But I know somebody that said that they were stuck in a tunnel on a train for 8 hours. That was a good excuse.
And he was with somebody else?
Well, I presume he wasn't stuck in a tunnel on a train for 8 hours, but, you know.
That covers the first day. What
it's
happens
hor-
a week later? Another train jam?
Well, then what happens is that all terrible things always happen to you when you're having an affair.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
my God,
horrible.
you're stuck in this, and, you know.
I'd
something
hate,
else.
I mean, I'm not proud of it
you
at
know,
all.
Oh, I used to say that once I was on business in Amsterdam, and I came back with this ridiculous tan after about 10 days, and I said that the plane was diverted to Nice, and I was stuck in Cannes for about a
In the
week.
sunlight.
Well, I had to lie on the beach, I had nothing else to do. But that's a long, long time ago.
Have you played two against each other?
I have never had an affair with a married man, but I'm not patting myself on the back.
But have
for
you
that. I
had
can't
one
say I
guy
never
that you're
would.
with and then you're sort of, you know, doing it on the side with somebody else? Well, she obviously has, otherwise I wouldn't see so many teeth. What did you do? Was that thrilling to have something on the side?
No, it's vile and disgusting, and you feel particularly shabby and dishonest.
But it's exciting and enjoyable.
Oh, George, you're far too honest for being on television.
That's true. I forgot I was on
Heating
TV.
up here.
We haven't started yet.
Oh, good. I was thinking about that, whether we'd started or not.
See, I think she's too interesting for most men. That's my thing. This one is it's too interesting. You
That's
probably are
very
too.
insulting to most men.
No, I know, but,
threat, probably.
but even you, who wanted somebody
Yes.
easy because you're the star, it's difficult when the woman's the star, isn't it?
Well, I think that's right either way. I think that if one particular partner achieves a hell of a lot, then I think it puts a huge amount of pressure on the other partner, and they've really got to go out and achieve something. They've got to get, you know, be successful, because it's very difficult living in that shadow. And
Especially for a man.
I would think it's more difficult for a man.
But I want to know, Misha, did you feel really guilty when you were having an affair?
Yeah, because I was...
Did you know his
but I was
wife?
in love. No, I was really in love with this man.
Did you think he'd leave his wife?
Yeah, of course I did.
They all
You
say
know,
that.
silly, naive. Oh, yeah, of course I
But
did.
you did.
In my case, well, yeah.
she
I
scored.
did, yeah. Well,
Because I
I
wasn't
was
doing...
thrown out first. I don't know whether I would have made
wouldn't
that
have jumped
decision.
ship?
I think women are much better at making tough decisions. You know, I think in the end, when something needs to, a marriage needs to, it's normally the woman who says, right,
I've had
I'm going
enough,
to do it.
that's-
The man is sort of, oh, I'm going to do it, and I will do it, and I'm going to do it, I'm leaving my wife, and I'm going to be with you. And he does nothing. But the woman actually says, right, enough's enough, and that's done. And I think that that's what happened in my situation, and I think that that was right, that somebody has got the guts. I won't say the balls, 'cause it's the woman that always does it. But
Do you
I
like
wouldn't.
Cindy? Because we need to talk more about EastEnders, because it gets 11 million.
Well, I
It's
undershot
actually
it. I undershot
18,
it.
19.
It has had 28 or 30
Okay, then we all
for
have
the
to
when.
When
Right.
Cindy came back,
When Cindy
it was
came
the
back, it
highest.
was
I
the
watch
highest.
EastEnders.
Well, I have no.
Sometimes.
I do watch EastEnders because my wife and my kids watch EastEnders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
you'd really
that-
rather
At least
been
you'd
reading
mix it.
Rabbit.
That's what introduced me. Hold on, that's what introduced me. I hadn't even finished what I was saying. That introduced me. I do now love it myself in my own right. I think Cindy was excellent, and I cannot stand her revolting husband, who Ian. I
Ian
think,
Beale.
Ian Beale, who is a
Poor
complete cretin.
Ian.
I think you did exactly the right thing trying to murder him. I think it was a very good move. But the only mistake you made is you didn't kill him completely.
But at least you admit to it. You know, you're a really successful man. I mean, I love that. Because most people go, well, I don't really watch it, but what's happening with so-and-so? And, you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
They all watch it. Everyone watches it.
They're liars if they don't watch it.
Of course they do.
I think so.
You're lying, Ruby.
I'd like to watch it, but
You're too busy being on it.
I'm on it. I'm on another channel
No, you
getting
could
1
do,
million people.
you know what they do
It's
with the
important.
Archers and have real-life celebrities.
You could be a visiting
and,
celebrity.
No, well, I was thinking you could be in Albert Square.
Oh, because I fit in so well with the Cockney people. I could sing a few rounds
Those
of
awful people.
Dick Van Dyke's
Those
greatest
awful
hits and then leave.
You and Barbara
Feed them, you can feed them some powdered eel.
in the old Vic.
Some powdered eel and liver spots, whatever you people like to eat. What is it? Chicken fat and crust. I love
Actually,
the Cockney
you could do a whole
people.
programme on
she
the
be-
East End in Albert Square interviewing everyone. It'd be really good. I'll have to come back for it.
You'll have to come back because nobody else will talk to me. What do you think is the appeal then to why people in England like these Cockney folk?
Cockney folk.
Do you know how much,
Actually,
how much
Coronation
censorship
Street
just
is
went
just
through
as
my
popular,
head?
and that's a northern programme. So it's not...
It's interesting
The
that
charming Cockney folk.
the American soaps are always about, you know, Dallas
Rich.
and very, very rich people. And
glamorous, and they're not real, and yeah, and
this is more realistic in the UK.
Is it?
people can...
Well, it's more down to us and more about people.
And it
the
comes
regular
in
Each
soaps.
other and
Socialist-
kidnapping their children?
Well, that's
that goes on all the
Brookside.
time.
That's her show. I thought you watched it.
I do, but I'm saying that compared
It
to
goes on more in
Brookside,
Brookside,
where
too.
in one cul-de-sac, sort of half the population's been wiped out. through-
No, I liked it when they had the
Village.
cult figure. The cult
Yeah.
figure who was like Waco. They had the siege. Then they had murder under the patio, incest, kidnapping.
That's just
It's
in
a
the cul
normal thing that
episode.
happens. All that happened in one cul-de-sac, which is sort of
It's
par for the
fabulous.
course, I guess.
All in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But at least
EastEnders-
Albert Square's got quite a lot of houses.
It is. More people die. The most dangerous thing to be in a soap opera, because more people die. I
Yeah.
think it's 50 times more people die
In a
soap
soap
opera than in real
How
life.
many years have you survived
Well,
that?
I think I'm about
many
to be
years?
killed off, actually. I've been since about 88, on and off.
Right.
So
10 years.
10-ish years,
You're good at
on and
math.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now you're going to be killed?
I'm very upset, actually.
Do you want to leave?
I heard, I did want to leave, yes. I only went back on a 6-month contract, and they asked me to go back in September, and I wasn't quite ready because I had other things. And then I've just heard through the grapevine that I'm going to be killed off in childbirth.
Oh my God.
Why?
Does that mean
It's
that
like
nobody likes you?
1998, in prison as well.
So you're going to be
I could have got
shackled.
some really good scenes out of that, couldn't I? I could have got some really good
Just a minute. Are you pregnant in the show so
Yes,
far?
I'm pregnant.
Oh, so you couldn't like say in 9 months I could be killed. You
No,
can't
it's-
drag your legs.
So come September, I think she's about 9 months, so that's what they're going to do. So I'm
Who
really
did you hear
upset.
this from? I mean,
Dying in
is there a
childbirth.
soul?
Yeah, I heard via a producer, actually, who I met the other day.
Does that
He
mean
used
they
to be
don't
there.
like you anymore?
I don't know, it just depends on new producers, doesn't it? The producer obviously doesn't like me, the new producer. But it's really silly to sort of kill off old characters because
It is.
you don't know how long that producer's going to be
They
there.
haven't
they
killed
talk
off
before
Gillian
the-
Tailforth, have
No.
they? She's
No.
gone to
Ange,
Australia,
where's
hasn't she?
Ange? What's going to happen to you
I
now?
thought you don't watch it.
So,
I knew Ange.
and that was 8 years ago.
That's when I stopped.
You know, even though I don't want to go back, but I never say never, I might want to go back eventually, so I'm a
As
bit
a ghost?
upset.
I thought
But
it should.
let me ask you, are you in prison yet, or what are you going to prison for?
You're facing trial, aren't
I'm
you?
facing trial. I won custody of my kids,
expert.
and then 10 minutes later I got arrested for murder
Of your husband, who you didn't kill?
of my husband. Well, I sort of did. I tried to stop it, but it was too late. I got a hitman to kill him.
So he is dead.
He's sort
No,
of
he
dead.
survived,
No, he's
unfortunately. No, he's a love. He
He's-
survived.
no,
He survived.
We're just talking about his character.
Right.
So basically, it took them a year to finally get enough evidence to arrest me. And the last episode was just me in a police charge room, and I had a boyfriend, the father of my child.
Italian?
No, he wasn't, but I did meet him in Italy.
Right, well, there you go. It's all,
He
you know,
looked
it's all
a bit Italian.
Like Fabrizio.
EastEnders filmed my very first episodes when I went back in Lake Bellagio, and Fabrizio's parents lived in Lake Bellagio.
Pelaggio's
And I was
his
filming
name?
about the
Oh, really?
in-laws
Sounds like
spying
oral
everywhere.
sex.
That's
They were
very
watching me filming.
Pelaggio's the man's name?
No,
I'm
it's
going to
called
watch
Lake
this show.
Bellagio. And it's
But
such
what
a
could
bitch.
happen to you now in real life? Can we snap to that, or is that impossible to get out
Anyway,
of
I want to do
Albert
another. We're
Square?
going to do another Real Women as well.
That was excellent. You see, there you go. I mean, you were marvellous in that.
What do you
I don't
wanna
think you
do
should go
then?
back.
She should walk out before she's
She should
killed.
go. She should go before she.
Listen
is
to
killed.
him, who's so good at, you know.
That's my advice. My PR
No, he's
advice.
done all right. He's bounced back
Tell him
again.
EastEnders is crap. It worked for you. You're here today.
That's true.
So anyway, so I hope, you know,
Have you
I've
ever
never
beat up
talked-
anybody? I have.
In what?
Have you ever beat up somebody?
Oh, beat up somebody?
Yeah.
I threw a chair over someone's head once at
And-
school,
Yeah.
but I'm not normally very violent.
Have you ever beat up anybody?
No,
No, I wouldn't think so.
I have been beaten up. But I...
By the
Have
boys
you?
at school?
Oh, yeah, I mean, when I was a teenager, I sort of... had a
Did they
couple of
hate
things
you
like
because
that.
you were a goody-goody?
I wasn't a
You weren't a
goody-goody. I was
goody-goody,
very
you got
bad.
thrown
What
out
are
of
you talking
school.
about? I was terribly bad.
What did you do?
I got thrown out of school.
What did you get thrown out for?
Oh, I just went to the funeral, to the headmaster's funeral, and his friend, the headmaster's friend's funeral, and I, just as they were lowering the coffin into the grave, I turned around to the headmaster and I said, "How old are you?" And he said, "I'm 72." And I said, "Well, it hardly is worth going home, really, isn't it?" So I was very naughty at school. I was extremely...
Is that why you got
controversial.
thrown out?
Well, I was already under suspension for doing something absolutely totally
we want to
ridiculous.
know. For what?
I don't know, something equally as
Trying to
ridiculous.
sell jewellery at school.
Something like that, yeah. So it was actually, it was gambling at school. Yeah. So I was very
Gambling.
naughty. I was very naughty.
What did you gamble at school?
Oh, I used to play this game of Find the Lady.
Which is... Oh, this
That's
thing.
a queen.
What's that?
You get 3 cards, an 8, a 7 and a queen. And there's a way of, you have the queen here and the 7 behind, and you pretend you're putting the queen there, but you drop the 7 there, and you drop the queen there, and then they have to bet on which card it is.
And it sticks to your hand or something, doesn't it?
It's a trick. Yeah, it's a 3-card trick.
Well, my dad's a bookie. Well,
Oh, is he?
He's
Right.
retired now, but was a
Right.
bookie. And I used to mark the board at the dogs and,
Yeah.
you know, work in the betting shop and everything. And I would see men come in with their wage packet, you know, on a Thursday,
Yeah.
bus drivers or whatever, and they would put all their money down, thinking they were going to win. And each race, they'd lose more and more and more until they became hysterical.
Oh, it's terrible.
And they'd end up literally with a brown paper envelope, and I remember them throwing it on the floor, and they'd have to go home to their wife and kids, and I just think...
But the only thing is that, not to belittle that the excitement of gambling is actually losing. That's the excitement. It's got to hurt. And that's why I don't gamble anymore. I went to Ascot yesterday, and, you know, my wife was betting away, and I just put £10 on this, because unless I put in a lot of money and there's that excitement that I'm going to lose it, it means something.
Oh, right.
Is
then
it
it's
about the
just-
punishment? Do you think that, like a lot of your motivation, it's about the punishment?
That's a very sort of shrink type of comment, really, isn't it?
Well, you should be used to that.
Dr. Ruby here.
Is it about the punishment? A lot of bad boys, you know, and
I think...
even Maxwell and stuff, it isn't about the winning, it's about the losing.
It's,
Yeah.
it's about the danger, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah. Is that your kick? Way, way, way unconsciously. Sup,
Well, now that you tell me that, maybe it is. I don't know. I think there is something in that, everything's to do with your mother, that they say that if your mother didn't love you and then you want everybody else to love you, and, you know, that's...
Did your mother love you?
Well, she was out a lot,
Oh, right.
you see, so that's the
here
point.
we go, yeah.
So
Where is your
It's
club?
a long...
we've opened one in Henley and we're opening one in Bedford.
Maybe you could give her your card.
Yeah.
Do you do Pilates there?
Pilates, we do. Pilates is extremely popular.
Oh, good.
It's excellent, and we were talking about that before. And,
We'll just leave.
it's like a form of yoga. I can't get into the classes of Pilates because they're so popular.
No, it is. I really like Pilates,
Yeah.
actually.
Started yet, Gerald?
I didn't realise you'd gone, so I didn't notice that. Don't you think we should start? Because, you know, we could be here all
Where are you
day.
going? Thanks for
because
doing this.
I wouldn't say any of the things, you know,
I know you wouldn't.
which I've said, unless it was completely off the record.
It was
and we haven't
it's
started
off the
filming.
record. We never started.
So,
We never do. It's for me and my mother and all the people who felt sorry for me at age 5.